I just want to be famous. I'll never forget when I heard that, and it really made me very upset. It wasn't something that I said because I never ever personally had the desire to be famous. I wanted to be successful in my music career, right? And in doing so in my music career, one of the major things about it was just a matter of achieving the goal of having the music heard and appreciated and growing from that, right? I could care less if people recognize me coming down the street. It didn't matter to me. All I cared about was, did you hear the music? Did it have an impact on you that was positive? I mean, it could be a negative impact too if you wanted to share that, but did you have a positive impact regarding the music or not, right? That was my main objective when it came to music production, music creation, and stuff like that. So one of the things that is hard to do when you're in a collective is to get everybody to be on the same page. I had two groups, and being honest with you guys, like, your group can start out like a fun thing for a lot of people, but just like when I couldn't keep a bass player because nobody really wanted to play bass in my group long term. They just wanted to do it for a little bit. Okay, that's cool. Now I got some other stuff happening in life. I got to go take care of that. Hey, that's cool. Now I'm about to go do something else. I lost three bass players. It got to the point where we just replaced the bass players with backing tracks. Learning how to make backing tracks was really a huge thing for us, but it also limited us because we couldn't freestyle very much off of like having a set song play. Obviously, you guys know most major people have a set type of a song or a set structure to what they're performing. But when you're jamming or with other people who are jamming and you can't jam, it really changes your presentation for what you're trying to do. It's not a bad thing. It just limits you. And so in doing so, you have to understand that there's just limitations and accept it. But there's benefits too, because you can add more sounds and have a bigger creation than other people who just rely on straight up live instrumentation or whatever. That being said though, I just want to be famous. It's probably one of the worst things somebody in a group could ever say, because it doesn't show that person or people have the desire to actually work hard to get there. There's a lot of people who will sell you that dream of you wanting to be famous and tell you that they can do it for you, just to take something from you, to take advantage of you and leave you high and dry. Whether it is like the music engineer who says, oh yeah, I can help you be famous, and shops you around and ends up taking some crazy amount of money for your for your deal, whether it's the manager that does something like that and takes advantage of it, or whatever. You have to understand that that's a very dangerous mindset to have, is to just chase the fame. The fame is the negative, I think. And I say that from the standpoint of, you can be famous and be broke. Think about that. You can be famous and be broke. You can be famous for bad things, infamous. You can be famous for not being good and not have any money, which with your fame, meaning that you can't go and make money doing a different thing because this other fame is chasing you. Think about all the people who made the mistake of like doing pornography or something like that. And I say mistake meaning that the people who come back and regret it, not the people who accept it and embrace it and grow with it, right? We live in a society where if you make a mistake, you got to kind of go against the intuition to feel ashamed for your mistake, and more so embrace your mistake depending on what it is, in order for you to overcome the mistake. We also live in a society where people are praying for your downfall. They want to build you up just to tear you down. And it used to be, oh, America loves a comeback story, but I don't think America loves a comeback story with the new generations. I feel like it's more like cancel culture, and that's it. So when you start chasing fame, when I think fame now, the first person I think of is like a Kim Kardashian or the Kardashian family. They're famous, but I don't know what their talents are other than just being well known. And I would argue that that's not something to brag about, but it is what a lot of people want. They want to be famous. They chase social media fame, which is another type of fame that is very scary. One thing people don't tell you about fame, let's get into it a little bit more. Do you really want people coming up to you that you don't know, telling you how much they love you, how much you've impacted their life. Do you know how heavy it is to have somebody come up to you and tell you that you changed their life, and you yourself are not secure with who you are? So I think that's the part of fame people don't think about. They think like at the high level, oh, I just want people to adore me and praise me for being successful, I guess. And I say successful from a standpoint of people want to be famous for being famous. I think that's really what it is. It's not so much success. Like, it's not, man, you're famous because you're a great singer. It's, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so and so-and-so, you're famous, right? So fame and chasing fame is just such a toxic thing. It's very toxic. And if you're trying to make it in music, you do have to understand that you need to be successful, chase being successful, and understand that with success comes fame. But fame shouldn't come before success, or shouldn't be prioritized before success. Otherwise, you're gonna lead a very slippery slope, maybe even dangerous slope, because it's hard to be famous without being successful, and it's hard to appreciate it. But you yourself, how do you feel? Do you feel like you want to be famous more so than you want to be successful? Or are you honest and say, I want to be successful and then I want to be famous? Or is it you want to be successful and you don't care if you want to be famous? There are people who are very popular, and fame is a trip, because there are people who are very popular that we all know. Like, it was known that Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana, he had a hard problem dealing with the fame that came with Nirvana being so famous. And a lot of that came with the fact that there was pressure put on him to live up to the legends that were being built upon him when he was alive. And is one thing that doesn't happen a lot is people don't necessarily get a grounded self-worth before success. And so if you don't have a solid foundation before you're successful in who you are and being proud of who you are, how can you possibly be a better person when you're famous, right? Fame is it's like a drug. And outside of just the social changes that happens, there's a lot of emotional changes that happens, because you're famous for being a product, essentially, right? Like, if I were famous, I would be famous for being Prodigy Music Man, right? But Prodigy Music Man is not who I am every single day, right? My wife told me a long time ago, she was like, I know on stage you're Prodigy Music Man, but when you come off stage, you're Reggie to me. And I'm marrying Reggie, I'm not marrying Prodigy Music Man. And I got it, but I never had anybody tell me that like that, but I got it. And the reason why is because when you're trying to sell that product, you're putting on I would say pageantry, but you're putting on the fantasy of it being bigger than life, because it has to be that way. Like, people, in order for people to adore you, they have to think that you are bigger than them. I will say that things are kind of odd nowadays, where like there's a person that's on stage that looks very normal, but they're not considered the average person, because those people go crazy over them. So yeah, you could look like somebody who's normal, but you really get put on a pedestal anyway nowadays, right? With some of these emo rappers and emo artists and all kinds of things like that that's going on. But you still have rock stars. You still got Drakes. You still got Lil Wayne's. You still got Jack Harlow's. You still got, I guess, Lil Nas X. You still got, what's her name? The girl that puts the fries in her nose. Doja Cat. You still got Cardi B. You still got a Beyonce out there. Jay-Z's out there. Snoop Dogg's out there. I've seen Snoop in person. I opened up for Snoop in Atlanta, and let me tell you, I opened up for Snoop in Atlanta, and B.O.B. was also on that same show. And when B.O.B. came in the door, it was like, oh man, that's B.O.B., that's cool, right? But when Snoop came in the door, it was like, this dude was floating inside of the door. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. It was crazy like that, right? Snoop is famous. Like, your parents know who Snoop Dogg is. Your grandparents know who Snoop Dogg is. your kids might know who Snoop Dogg is. Like, he's that generationally famous, right? This guy comes in, and it's the trippiest moment because you're seeing somebody who's truly famous, but he was successful, which led to his fame. If I saw Kim Kardashian, I would just be like, okay, there goes Kim Kardashian. I know who she is, but I don't personally care because I don't really know what she does other than just be herself, I guess, or be the Kardashian brand. So to me, it has different levels to it, but at the same time, how do you go about life being famous when everybody treats you like you famous? It's got to be some type of I'm sure people have to talk to like psychiatrists or something, or a therapist or something to keep them grounded. Because Snoop seemed pretty cool, you know. B.O.B. seemed pretty cool too at the time, but like I said, the level of fame was so starkly different. And then on the flip side, there was a bunch of other artists that I've met that they think they're great, and I don't even remember most of them. They may have had, you know, hit songs on the radio, whatever, but you know, whatever. I mean, I'm sure they don't remember me, but I can honestly say I wasn't famous, so that's okay. I can get away with it. I'm good with it. But I do think it's just important to understand the mental health point of view of chasing fame and not focusing on being successful. And, you know, success can be whatever you want it to be. I don't think being famous and achieving fame should be an indication of your success. I feel like success is probably rooted in respect and probably financial gains from what you're doing. I don't think you can be successful without reaping the financial benefits. I'm sorry. I don't believe that's success. I believe that's being taken advantage of if you're known and appreciated, but you don't have any financials back from you. And people will definitely do that to you all day if you don't put your foot down and ask for that money. But I want to also point out one thing too. If somebody in your group is focusing on just being famous, but not focusing on getting better, not focusing on achieving the group success, you need to cut that out. That's a cancer. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. That's a very narcissistic thing. And it's not going to help you achieve your goal. Even if they're the best person, it's just not going to work. I know sometimes we try to do this thing where we're like, well, we can control it, we can manage it, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be too much, and you're going to have to cut it. And when you cut it, you're going to have to figure out or rebrand what it is you do, what it is you are. It's just better to deal with it and not push it back and hold out that maybe things are going to change, because that's not going to change. It is going to be like that. It's going to definitely be like that. That's just how it is. So if you know somebody's all about chasing fame, they're not about being successful, they're not about working hard to get there, just do yourself a favor and take care of that. Take that situation out of your equation and focus on only having people who are going to work hard on being successful, because it's easy when you don't have any adversity, but there's always adversity. You're always going to get a door shut on you. I got so many doors shut on me. It's funny. It's so funny. I've gotten doors shut on me only for somebody to come by the next week in my life and open that door back up for me and then be on that same stage that they told me I couldn't be on for different reasons. I've gotten the door shut on me because I'm black. I've got the door shut on me because I did rock music at one point in time. I've never gotten the door shut on me because I didn't have the ability. It was always just about the appearance of something. I've gotten the door shut on me for things that other people did that were trying to look out for me, but ended up offending somebody on some weird stuff and getting major opportunities pulled from me. You know, where I thought I was gonna be in front of 5,000 plus people. That was the whole point. I was the contract. Got pulled, got yanked. Found out last minute, hey, you're not even on the billing anymore. Hey, what's going on? Oh yeah, we took you off because your people did too much. Well, we got a contract. I don't care. Sue us. That's a good story. I'm gonna tell you that story soon. Anyway, so yeah, man, this is a dope beat. But yeah, man, this game of chasing fame, it's a dangerous one, especially with social media. So I was lucky enough to not have social media be so strong when I first started. But I'll tell you right now, like, I deleted all my social media stuff as soon as I went on a hiatus with music. I deleted everything. Not because I didn't want to be famous, right? Not because I wasn't successful, but it was because it was a reminder of chasing the success, and it was a reminder of how much I had to put in just to get to where I got. So all of my personal stuff, I was like, man, just take this off. Like, why is it even up here anymore? You know, at this point, YouTube took away my monetization a long time ago. I was getting monetized like 4 years ago, and it was ironically paying me more money then than it is now that I'm monetized with the new standards and getting more views. But you have to mentally take care of yourself, and don't let the stress of it all eat you up. I say this, my wife is more famous than me right now, which is really cool. You know, she has a YouTube channel, and she does fantastic with that. And yeah, we'll be out, and people come up to her and they talk to her like they know her, which is awesome. That's cool. You know, it's totally friendly. But she's successful. But from her success came the fame. She wasn't famous and then became successful. She was successful and got fame. That's what it is. And in that aspect of it, it's still very much manageable and, you know, financially beneficial for sure. But yeah, music could do that to you. Social media will do that to you. Just be very careful, man. You know, like you, especially like nowadays, if I were just on a life tip, right? I got kids, and a lot of times I sit and I wonder, how in the world can I teach my children to deal with the stress and the social pressure of social media, the peer pressure of social media? You know, because it used to be you could get picked on at school, but it would stop at school. You didn't have to take it home. Now it's like it's in your phone, so it's with you wherever you go, right? All the time. I look at Justin Bieber and I'm like, I feel bad for Justin Bieber. There's people that legitimately hate Justin Bieber for no reason. Justin Bieber didn't do anything to nobody. They legitimately want this man to pass away. People do say crazy stuff like that. Like, how can you hate somebody you don't know? Oh, it's because he's famous. I hate him. Like, what is that? Like, what is that about, dude? Like, come on, get that fixed. You know what I'm saying? That's so weird. But yeah, man, from a life standpoint, if I were talking to my children, I'll probably tell them that, you know, if you ever come to a point in time where people are adoring you for being popular, always take a step back and ask the question, well, why do you like me so much? What is it that I do that is so admirable to you? Ask that question, because you got to check yourself, because everybody ain't gonna check you. Yes men will come around you, especially if they think you're famous, because they want to be attached to it. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to try, you know, and don't let it get out of hand, because it can. Chasing fame. What's the price of fame? Tupac said, they want the fame. You know what I'm saying? So many songs about fame. So many sad stories about fame. So many lives taken away from us too soon because fame is too much. And, you know, I don't think you should medicate fame. I think you should sit down and meditate. So meditate fame, meaning the impact of fame, but don't medicate the impact of fame, because it's a slippery slope. So I hope this message helps somebody. I hope this helps somebody for real. Prodigy Music, man. Make sure you guys click like and subscribe to the channel. I'm banging out 30 for 30 in July, man. So I'm doing this every single day. Not necessarily live streams, but I'm definitely hitting the video. So I will talk with you guys later. Enjoy the beat. Boom, boom, boom.